Hello and welcome to part 9 of the Perfect Unreal walkthrough. Okay, right here, just a little note. For these traps or trials or whatever you want to call them, the first one is a bit complicated, but the easiest way to get through it is to walk through bit by bit, but not too slow. You don't want to get yourself killed. Then going back is a bit easier. As you can see. Anyway, I finally got back to these recordings after quite a bit of work and being busy and whatnot. This current level is the mothership basement, and it is quite a basement. I've never really seen one with a series of deadly traps and a collection of hallways, but what use is a mothership basement anyway?
Yes, I will touch action. Isn't that weird? Not so much, Martin Vance! Yes, this is the keeper.
Okay, right here, just a little note. For these traps or trials or whatever you want to call them, the first one is a bit complicated, but the easiest way to get through it is to walk through bit by bit, but not too slow. Killed. Then going back is a bit easier. As you can see.
You have a toy body.
Anyway, I finally got back to these recordings after quite a bit of work and being busy and whatnot. This current level is the mothership basement, and it is quite a basement. I've never really seen one with a series of deadly traps and a collection of hallways, but what use is a mothership basement anyway?
The tiny one can't take a hint.
Now to the more significant and more important map, the Mothership Lab, or Extreme Lab, by Enox. Immediately after being pulled into this map, in the beginning, we're already thrown into the somewhat grungy, very dark and dramatic atmosphere of the map. The problem is that although Enox makes an attempt to force the player into the feeling of the map's tone, that tone being in great contrast to the even more unimpressive and unmoving mothership basement, there's a critical ingredient missing. And at the end, the player abstains from plunging into this map as one would were they beholding some monumental construct or something of this sort. But enough of my critical babble. Plainly and simply, this map has no sense of conceptual grandness or inspiring atmosphere. First of all, the extreme darkness isn't really necessary. Think of it this way. For what purpose would the mapper use darkness in terms of improving the map's visuals? All it does is prevent those visuals from being seen. But that's not even the biggest problem. Almost every area in this map is cramped beyond tolerance, at least for me. While you're in-game, you don't notice it as much, obviously. But looking back at these videos, taking into account the appearance and components of the design, more than the gameplay, there's really nothing impressive about this map, other than perhaps its detail and complexity. Now, regarding the detail, I must admit that Enox does a fair job at building the map with at least some interesting concepts and constructs that are actually visible. But once more, let me try to convince or explain to you even more how much potential this has. Remember back in parts 5 or 6 when I was saying how the Unreal dev team lost its chance to make a huge impact on the player with the mothership maps? Well, imagine just that. Some sort of colossal and long build, well-lit rooms with great detail, and some central idea behind the map as in less corridors, more interesting stuff. This is at least why Extreme Lab failed in the basic analysis. I will admit that the Scar texture pack bugs me a bit because it's not to my liking or tastes, and perhaps that's why I don't like this series of maps too much visually. But even to an unbiased level of stating facts about each part of the map, by doing that you'd still be able to tell this map needs working on. Moving the visual aspects of this map out of the way brings a different perspective. You see, what other mappers ironically failed to do in the greatest maps, as in Bluff Eversmoke, Finale Castle, Sky Village, etc. Of course, they didn't fail to a great extent, by the way. Enox hits the bullseye on this. Monster placement is rather clever. There are a seemingly perfect amount of monsters in each map, somewhat uniformly spread throughout the map, so as to bring a challenge to the player, but not a ridiculous entourage for the player composed of explosives and bullets, if you will. Storyline implementation is a bit interesting to rate because while there is an acceptable amount of translator events, most of them consist of uninteresting notifications, dilemmas within the ship, and so forth. However, there are quite a bit of translator events that depict a subplot and some notes about the Scar and so forth that sort of generate a basic or simple storyline, and I will give it credit for that. So, for the rating, I gave Atmosphere a 4, Conceptual Grandness a 1, of course, Gameplay a 5, Visual Impact 2, Storyline Implementation 3, which brings us to an overall rating of 3. Now, when I made this rating, I was only considering the first two maps, the mothership basement and the lab. With the maps as a series from the basement to the generator deserve a different rating, although it is generally balanced out by extreme negatives and extreme positives, such as, for example, respectively, the generator map being a very entertaining map in terms of gameplay, or the horrid, cramped, and undetailed corridors of the Dark Core map. This rating is an Atmosphere of 4, Conceptual Grandness of 2, Gameplay 5, Visual Impact 2, and Storyline Implementation 3. And that brings us to an overall rating of 3.2, which is 0.2 points more. But once more, there is still a potential 1.8 points, if you will. Quite a bit in terms of mean number that this map series could have received. This is what I'm talking about, by the way, when I talk about entertaining or rather challenging gameplay. If you're looking at the or paying attention to the gameplay in this walkthrough, you'll notice there are a few things here that try to look out for. For example, while Bluff Eversmoke's monster placement pattern is somewhat typical, simple, and logical, the Scar mothership map's monster placement is aggressive, Gaussian, and, well, rather unrealistically tactical. Okay, maybe not that much, but that's not necessarily a bad thing anyway. Because this yields sort of a good mixture for the end game map, so sort of a hardcore presentation before, of course, the Queen.
taste, a bit of a smell, a bit of texture. Would you like a smoke and a pancake? You know, flapjack and a cigarette? All right. Cigar and a waffle? No. Pipe and a crepe? No. Bong and a blintz? While I change, the Holler boogie has made me sweaty. Yeah, sweaty. Or the shooting begins. Not so bad, smarty pants. With me here. That's your keeper. Yes. Put it in the skin box, please. Busy Irish. I'm peeling. Could be back here. Save me from myself. Would you like a smoke and a pancake? You know, flapjack and a cigarette? All right. Cigar and a waffle? No. Pipe and a grape? No. Bong and a blitz?
Headshot.
Nobody say anything stupid or the shooting begins.
Headshot.
We are both swingers, you see? Excuse me while I change. The Holler boogie has made me sweaty. Yeah. the taste of it, the smell of it, the texture. Would you like a smoke and a pancake? You know, flapjack and a cigarette? Huh? All right, cigar and a waffle?
Headshot.
Dutch hater! And that's the way, I like it. gin and dip.